Hi, I'm Feng Xian. I have been teaching as an engineering tutor in Department of Telecommunication, Electrical, Robotic, and Biomedical Engineering, Swinburne University of Technology since 2017. Today, my presentation is about design, developing, and implementing new digital technologies for electrical engineering teaching.
The outline of our presentation is as follows. First, we start with introduce and analyze the digital technology used in electrical engineering teaching. It follows by identify the pedagogical issue and the solution using digital technology. And then the future new technology will be implemented in my teaching. Finally, add conclusions and references. Electrical engineering is much more theoretical and practical. In my teaching practice, I have been applied the digital learning technology in my teaching. The digital learning environment in my learning included the learning management systems such as Canvas and Blackboard, online discussion board, video demonstration, software applications applied to the learning activities. By applying the above-mentioned technologies in my teaching, I have been able to achieve the learning outcomes in the unit I have involved and also aligned the learning activities and assessment methods. For the electrical engineer, laboratory experiments are much more important part and they have a great effect for the student to achieve their learning outcomes. Most of the labs in electrical engineering are physical and simulation-based experiments, which are effective in improving the quality of learning activities. Sometimes lack of resources make us unable to perform physical experiments, particularly when they involve sophisticated instruments and we have limited time to perform experiments. Some basic and conceptual knowledge is feasible to demonstrate in physical laboratories. To improve the quality of electrical engineering education, the computer simulation type of virtual laboratory and remote laboratory are applied in my teaching. The computer simulation type of virtual laboratory contains some physical instruments and hardware, and the simulation is on the data acquisition part and the components. It is a real laboratory with components in a confined space that students can access during the lab and remotely through a computer. A remote laboratory presents high-quality features, and it is a very easy way to form experiment. It do not need to use real equipment in the lab, which distinguish it from other simulation laboratories. To apply the computer simulation lab to our course, the first step is define the appropriate learning outcomes to align with the lab experiment. It can be categorized into several types. One is a combined physical lab with lab simulator, and another one is use laboratory simulators as supplement. The computer simulation virtual lab improves the learning process or laboratory sessions by combining the real instrument experiment, simulation, and video together. There is significant improvement between the pre- and post-test when all lab forms combined, for both theory questions and lab questions. Meanwhile, the computer simulation virtual laboratory provides instant record of the result and saves the calculation times compared with the physical lab. Therefore, they are more efficient ways for students. Remote labs are a new concept of lab experiment and new form of teaching, which gives the university more opportunities to provide different ways of teaching and learning method in the lab teaching. Remote laboratories are based on the development of Internet technologies, implementation of information and telecommunication technologies. They have been considered as an increasingly popular innovations in engineering education. Moreover, remote labs have had an enormous impact on engineering as they help both students and teachers to access real experiments on real hardware at any time they want and from anywhere through the Internet. The characteristic and objective of the remote labs include the following part. First is digitalization of education process. Thought the implementation of new technologies and computers to manipulate and visualize a novel education process. It can reduce the number of hours that students have to spend in the laboratory by offering a self-paced learning, and also it offers practical experiment and programmatic learning with real systems using equipment connected to the Internet. Now we draw a conclusion of our presentation. We have included the following aspects in our presentation. First, we introduced and analyzed the current digital technologies for electrical engineering teaching. Then I proposed the new digital technology, which includes the computer simulation type of virtual laboratory and remote laboratory in our presentation. Their characteristics are introduced as well. The references used in this presentation are listed on this page. Thank you for your attention.